correctly. So today we are focusing about exploring literature with digital tools, mapping, tracking, and citations. Here we go. And I'm not going to introduce myself because it's all done by Pushpamala Miss. Right, so this is the structure for our workshop today. We are going to talk about building your reference library with Zotero. The reason why we have selected Zotero, because it's open source and it's available for everyone to use online. So you don't need to pay anything to use Zotero, right? That's the biggest advantage of using Zotero. And it's easy and simple and user-friendly as well. Right, and then by using Zotero Library, so we are discussing about how you're going to organize your Zotero Library, not only adding references to your library, but also using notes, tags, and related items. Whenever you do your research project, it will be really useful. And then next, we are moving to talk about how we are going to add citations and references to your Word documents. That's where you normally work on your research project. And then we also talk about generate reports on Zotero. So it will be useful for you to share some of the resources with your research team, with your supervisors, or with your academic staff members. And finally, we are going to talk about Research Rabbit for mapping and tracking literature. And also it's connected with Zotero as well. So it's really nice to use such kind of AI tools plus Zotero open source software together to build up your research library. Okay. Right. So let me talk about the current situation. Maybe the similar situation that you are experiencing right now. So when we are talking about the research, so everyone thinking, okay, how I'm going to manage my references, how I'm going to manage my literature to support with my research process, right? Okay, so it seems like does your research looks like this? Not the one who in the middle, just think about the background, okay? Right. Sometimes we use sticky notes to get kind of write down some of the notes while we are reading, and then we paste somewhere or on the paper, right? And sometimes we also used to have a bookmarks while we are reading, right? And there are many ways of taking notes as well using notebooks, and I love using notebooks as well. And also some of the scratch pads as well using notes, taking notes from there. Plus, there are many more research ideas coming through, and then you have to record those sort of innovative ideas somewhere else as well. Not only that, you have to find new resources each and every time. For example, when you go and discuss with your supervisor about your research problem and so on, and then supervisors will recommend you to read more and more and more, right? So it's like referencing not only that particular references along with you, but also each and every time you have to use more resources as well. So it means like your library is growing, right? Then it's really useful to have a kind of peaceful environment to work with you. So that's why we are suggesting and recommending for you to have an online research library, maybe working with Zotero plus other tools, right? Okay. Yeah, so Zotero can help you keep your work organized. So I am now moving to Zotero environment, and then we'll discuss things over there. While I stop, maybe I'll share the other screen, okay? So you'll be able to see this, okay. Right. Okay, can you see the screen, the website?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so this is like a Google, the website, and if you type Zotero over there, so you will be able to access that Zotero, right? So you can see that Zotero, your personal research assistant, comes up very quickly. So this is the Zotero environment, because before I go into that Zotero and work over there, I want you to emphasize a couple of things from the download perspective and also usage. Okay. So if you are new to using Zotero, so this is where you're going to download your Zotero software to your laptop or desktop computer. And the recommendation is first, before you download even, just make sure that you will create your own account on Zotero, right? The advantages will be while you are working on your desktop computer or with the laptop, right? That the standalone library. If you are not having the online account, you won't be able to have the access to the online library. So it's not syncing your standalone library with the online version, right? So if you have the account, then even though you are not working on your own laptop, wherever you go, so you can access to online library. So that's the really nice things about it, okay? So you have to log in first, and then if you do not have the access, so first click on this register for free account, complete this page, and then you will get the username and password, right? Okay, so I'll move into the home page again. I'm logging with my own account and then log into Zotero. Right. So after you log in, so this is where the online environment, right? I haven't downloaded the software yet. Okay, since I have a library with myself, so it's everything over there. So before I discuss everything here, now I'm again moving to the Zotero home page after I log in. Okay, now you can see my name is there. So after you get your account, so you will be able to see your account over there. And then you can download, right? So when you click on that download button, so you can see two things it will shows up. First thing is about how you're going to download your Zotero library to which type of computer, like which kind of operating system that you are using. If you are using a MacBook, so you can go for the Zotero 64 Mac. If not, you can find other platforms by clicking Windows or the Linux, with whatever platforms, okay? And then click on the correct version and then download the relevant version for you. Along with that, you have to download this Zotero connector as well, because otherwise it's really difficult for you to use the Zotero connector to get some sort of references to your library, right? Okay, so you can click on this Zotero connector. If you are using Safari, that should be fine. If not, so you can see Zotero connectors to other libraries, right? So you can click on the relevant version as well. Right, so after you download all these stuff, from the desktop, you will be able to see this Zotero icon. So when you double click on it, you can open desktop version, right? I will go and work on there after explaining the online environment. Right, so let me go to the online environment first, and then I'll move to the desktop version and then let you know how it works. Right, so after we having the online account, whenever we work with our own computer, so everything going to sync or link with the online account, online library, right? So this is my Zotero library. So you can see that there's a number of items over there. But soon after you familiar with the Zotero library, you will be also working that kind of environment as well. Right. So other thing is, when we are working with the Zotero, you can also create Zotero groups. So that's interesting. If you are working with the research project for your undergraduate program or postgraduate program, so it's nice to sometimes share with your research library with your supervisors, because they can also think about, okay, check what kind of literature they are using, your students are using. And also, sometimes if that new literature comes to that supervisor's mind, and then they can share some literature with the students as well. So it's like a two-way benefits can be gained from this environment. Okay, so you can create Zotero groups from there. By clicking on create new groups, you can add members and share your library. Share your specific library as well. Okay, not all the libraries. Right, when you click on the documentation, that's really important, because this is just 1 hour webinar. So after that, if you are working on Zotero, if you find any other difficulties, any other problems of working with Zotero, this is where the most relevant guidelines, documentations available. So most of things are discussed here. So if you have any difficulties to work with the Zotero, please come into this documentation site and then see where you can get help. And forums, then you can engage with other Zotero users as well for anything. And get involved means, for example, from the institution wise, if you are using Zotero or recommended like that, if you need sort of customization, so you can join with Zotero organization and then do it for your all institution. But I guess you all are individual users, so you do not want to go that much far, right? So that's the online environment, right? So let me share the Zotero library now. That's the desktop version. Then we can work together. Right. I hope you can see this. Can you see the Zotero library now? The desktop version?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes. Great. Right. So this is the desktop version. This is not the online one, right? That means soon after you download the Zotero into your computer, you'll be able to access this. Okay. So this is the My Library. So the My Library is showing all the references that we collected in our library. But most important thing is you need to make sure that how you're going to manage your things. Can you remember the example that I shared with you earlier, right? So the research a student is in the middle, and then around her, that's a like kind of mess, right? So if you are using the Zotero library, make sure that you are not going to make a mess here, right? Make sure that you are arranging your things perfectly based on your research project, based on your assignments, maybe based on your courses, whatever, right? Because different strategies that you could take with that, right? So this is the my own library, and then you can see that how I have organized my own folders. It based on different projects, different research projects, different courses that I'm taking or that I'm teaching. It depends on the strategy that's the strategy that I took, okay? And I will show you how you're going to do that. For example, you can see that a small folder button here, and you can click on that. So you can create the new selected new version over there. If I click on here, SLIIT research project, right? If I click rename, if I name the collection as a SLIIT research project, so it's there. So you can see the SLIIT research project is there. And if you are thinking about any other topics under that research project, main themes or something like that, I can reorganize it as a different subfolders. For example, click on the icon and then right click on it, and then you can click on sub collection. So I can see maybe theme 1. I don't know still what it's mean by theme 1. So I selected theme 1. So when I click on that, so the SLIIT research library include theme 1 like that. So you have to find the way to organize your library. Make sure that you are not going to make a mess here. Okay. So that's a good recommendation. Right. And the next one, when you click on the items from your library, click on there, and you can see if I click on one item from my library, on the right-hand side, you will see the references related to the item that I'm seeking, okay? Or the bibliographic information, all right? And if I click on here, you can see what's the item type is a journal, and the abstract or whatever the journal names, and all the full bibliographic details are there, okay? Right, so that's the overview of that Zotero, and then I'm going to work with you and show how you're going to add references to this library and organize it, and also take notes and to be used for your literature review paper or other purposes, right? Okay. The first thing we have, okay. The other important thing is about how we are going to, because at the beginning, I informed you that you can sync your library with the online version, right? As you can see, in the corner, at the corner, top of the corner, right-hand side, you can see that green color button, right? So that's the sync with Zotero.org. That means my library is already synced with my online version, right? So you can do like that. You can set up that sync option first when you go to Zotero and then click on settings option. So it will open up this kind of window, and there are a number of settings over there, but when you go to sync option, you can see how you're going to sync all this stuff. Do you want to sync automatically or sync only full text content only, whatever. So you can give the instructions, how do you want to sync with your desktop version with the online one, right? So I have given all the priorities for that one because I need to be updated my laptop, my library with the online version. Okay, right. So that's the one. And the other one is you need to think about how you're going to add your references to your library. There are a couple of things that we can use it. The first thing is about adding, I'll use this one for the, okay, maybe CAD. There are a couple of things to remember. So you can add references to the library in a different way. The first thing is about the manual version, okay? The manual one is really important. For example, if you are reading a manual like a printed book, right? But it's not available online version for you to access, but you have the printed version, right? Printed books with you. So then you can add the book that you read to your library manually. So you can click on this plus mark here. And then when you click on more, you can see the variety of the types of resources that you can add. It could be artwork, it could be blog post, if you are reading a blog post, and you can also reference that in your research as well. And it could be email, film, book, letter, interview, right? So you'll be able to find many more types of resources. Okay. So if you think like, for example, for this purpose, I may thinking, okay, I'm going to add probably book, right? When I click on that, so you can see the environment, the box is open up from the right-hand side for us to manually add details. If I take the manual one, for example, I add one manual references to my library to show you quickly. These days I'm reading about this one, becoming a critical, reflective teacher, right? So this is one of the book that I'm reading, and then the author's name we can add manually as well. So the authors will be Brookfield, and I will add instruction S and T. Done. Right, so I don't need to add abstract because it's a manual book. And then other important areas for me to reference that book is who is the publisher, right? So the publisher will be Josie Pass, one of the example. And also the place is USA and date is 2017. Sorry. Right. So that's enough. So that's for the manual, adding details manually to the library, right? So like that, you will be able to add your references manually to the library if you are reading manual stuff with you. If you are reading manual books or the printed journal, article, paper, newspaper, whatever, right? Okay. And the other important thing is about getting what we called DOI number, right? DOI number from the books from the online library. Because if you have access to the online library, so you know that you can read ebooks, e-journals, articles, right? Electronic articles and so on, journals. So you'll be able to find that DOIs from there. and even ISBN for the books, right? And many more options as well, right? For example, if I take the one example from my library, I will take one example from the university library. From my university library, you can see that. Okay, so I will go to this option here, and then I'm going to copy one of the DOI from there. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, so this is the DOI. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to my library again. And I click on that and I enter DOI number. And then click enter button from the keyboard. Then you can see that the book has been added to, the article has been added to the library automatically. Okay, I haven't done anything manually. Just copy and paste the DOI, right? So the student attitudes. And if you click on that, then you can also see that full text available for you to read. When you double click on it, so you can read that article from the same screen, right? From the same screen. And the next version is adding some of the items for your library through using the Zotero connector. So that's where, can you remember, I asked you to download two things, the Zotero library as well as the Zotero connector. So Zotero connector means if I'm using the, so this is my version, I'm using the Google one. Yeah, the Safari. Yeah. So you can see that from my browser, right? So there will be Safari, Google, whatever the browser that you are using, you have to use the correct browser plus connector to download that one. Then automatically you can see that whenever we go to the material, you can see some of the Zotero icon here. When we click on that, save to Zotero, example like this, right? When I move my cursor to here, this icon, very closer to the search bar, you can see save to Zotero, right? So I can automatically save from there. So that's really important because that's where we normally do our searching, right? On the online, in the online environment, right? So we use electronic e-journals, e-articles, e-books. So whenever we use the databases, then you can have access to the articles, journals. At the same time, you will be able to save that document to your Zotero library, right? For example, if I'm taking this one, so I'll go to the, yeah, I'll take the other one because you will be able to find the other option as well. Right, so I will take the next one here, next option. So we are going to take this one, save this document, this article to my library, right? I haven't copied the DOI. I haven't done anything manually. So I'm going to click on this icon. When I click on this icon, so it's asking, where do you want to save to? So I click on cat because that's where I'm working right now. If not, you can click on here, more option, and then you can find the relevant library from there, right? Because if you have so many libraries in your Zotero library, so you can select particular one, the project that you are working relevant to your thesis or with your organization, right? Okay, so I selected CAD and then done. So when I go to the Zotero library, you will be able to see a large scale implementation one should be there, right? So you can see large scale implementation. That's the one we saved right now, okay? And when you click on that, you can also see the full text again available. It's pretty easy because we don't need to read online version. So we have the PDF version, sorry. And while you are working on the PDF version, you can take notes, write things, all this stuff. So I'll show you next how we can do that one, okay? Right, so far, so we have completed all the things up to here, how we are getting references into your Zotero library by using three different things. Maybe you can add manually, you can add by using your DOI number in the article, or else you can also use the Zotero connector from your browser, right? So it is practically very easy for you to organize your library. Right. And the next one that I want to talk about, adding notes, because after you create your library in Zotero, so it's not only for the showcase, right? So it's about to use for your research, or if you are working on the article that you want to publish, so you will be reading many more articles, so you need to organize them carefully, and how you are going to make notes, how you are going to write some of your ideas, how you're going to build up your literature review paper, and so on. So that's really important to look at, not only get the references from the library or adding references to the library, items to the library, but also thinking about how we are going to work with them. Okay, right. The first thing is we can, so this is the small library that I'm talking about. And we can add notes to the item as well as to the library. That means to the collection, right? So you can see that this is my library and I have lots of collections require preference, like each folder is a different collection, right? And when I click on each collection, it includes different items. Okay, right. So we can add notes to the items, or else we can add notes to the whole collection. Okay, I'll show you why it is important. Right. So first I'll let you know how you're going to add notes for your each items in your library, right? For example, I need to add notes to this paper. So students' attitudes things. So I click on that, and then I can click on these note items on top, on this arrow, and then I can click on add child note, right? So you can see that the child notes already added. So that means it's inside one item, right? So if we have that notes, whenever we read these stuff, this article, we can make notes within there, right? I'll show you how to do that after adding notes. Right. The other option is, as I said earlier, adding items, notes to the whole collection. So for this one, if I'm click on new standalone note, so it's added to the collection. It's not under each item, right? So why that notes is really relevant for the whole collection? So it's again depending on how you are managing your library. For example, I normally manage my stuff based on the research or the whatever that I'm teaching or supervising, things like that. So for each folder, I may have a kind of summary over there. For example, right now I'm working on different research project, and there I need to have a overall further research or maybe future research areas to see at once, not like going into different papers. Okay, so then my notes, this notes will be further research area, right? Then I will have a full notes over there about further research areas about in that collection. Okay, that informing from that literature. Right, so that's one thing we need to think about. And the other important thing is when I go to different collection, for example, here, I'll show you. This is one of the standalone notes. Now you know about that one. When I click on over there, you can see in the notes, we have different options. When we take the notes, the first line, whatever the thing that we write on top of the note, is taking as a title for that note, right? So you make sure that if your note need to be renamed indifferently, so the most important thing is the first line need to be changed, okay? Another one is you can use different headings like this. So you can see different headings and you can change. And also you can add text color while you are working in the Word document, right? The similar thing you can do here as well. So the important thing is while you are reading, you do the same thing in Zotero. Okay. So the text color, you can add text color, and also you can use highlighter while you are reading, writing, getting notes. And also you can add links to here as well. to, while you are reading, you can jump into the other paper and read and take it some of the notes into that same environment, right? Okay. And all the edits are saved automatically. You don't need to worry about saving, and also syncing with the online version as well. Okay, right. And the other important question is why notes are really important, right? So the first thing is I have given few notes here. The first one is about keep track of your ideas in your readings. In your readings, it's really important. Otherwise, we read one thing today and then we will forget the main ideas. So keep reading and at the same time make notes as well. Okay, together in the same screen. You don't need to jump into different environment. And the other important thing is you can create some of the to-do lists that what we want to do, what are you going to do, what you want to ask different questions from your supervisors, what kind of key points that you are focusing for the next meeting, blah, blah, blah. It depends how you're going to use it, okay? And also you can keep the record some of the quotations of your interest to add into your literature review paper later on, and keep log of your information searches and track your research questions. And it's really useful while you are working your research project. Whatever the notes that you are taking here, it will useful for your writing later on. Okay, right. I'll quickly check on this. Okay, nothing in the text. Right. Okay, so we work on that. And the other important thing is, right, so we talk about that. Right. And then I'll show you how you're going to take notes. Okay, so you know about adding notes and the importance of notes of having in this your research library. Okay, so I go to one of my current readings. So that's one of the course that I'm doing it, and class 1 readings. So you can see that when we are, so that's basically about the organizing again. So if you want to have a notes, write notes while we are doing literature survey, literature review, reading, it's important to have a sort of a structure, right? If you want to have that kind of a structure, you can add that standalone note like this. So this is about article notes template. So whenever I read articles for this particular course, I'm thinking about these questions. So which recording supports your ideas for good teaching? What stands out for you to surprise you? So that kind of things, these are my focus of that reading. So rather than going here and there, so I kept all the things together in my notes. That's notes template. And what I can do, I can easily duplicate this one, right click on, and then duplicate item. And then I can duplicate that item into one of my readings here. Okay, see that article notes. So while I'm reading these articles, I can make the notes over here as well. So that's really important. So likewise, just think about how do you want to work? Just have a template for your notes and then copy and then duplicate that one and then duplicate with the items, as well as you can duplicate that one into different collections as well. For example, if I want to move this collection to digital literacy, I can drag and put it over here as well. So digital library also having this template if you need it. Okay, so that's one way of doing that one. So it's really organized in that manner. Okay, right. The other one, when you go into, yes, so just think about, right, I'm click on this nature of the good teaching, right? So just think about, this is one of the article that you are reading. Okay, so then how we are going to make notes. Okay, so what you can do, you can highlight. See, if you see that this form is really important, you can highlight. And also you can change colors by click on the air. You can change the colors. And even you can give a meaning for colors as well. So I use that as well. For example, I use maybe the yellow color for the special, specific information. And the green color, that's all about research findings. And the other colors into different themes as well. So you can manage, right? Then you know that whenever you do your work, it's related with the colors as well, right? And when I click on my notes, you can see how I took my notes from my readings to here, right? So it's like different things and then different stuff I discussed, and it will helpful for me to write my paper as well as for my preparation for my other activities as well. Okay, so that's how we could work. I hope it's explained well, but if you have any questions, please feel free to text as well. So then we'll see how it goes. Okay, right. So that's one way of doing that. And the other one, let me check. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. And I'll take one more examples from, yeah. And as I showed you earlier, so from this template, you can see different templates, right? And if you want to change that template, for example, there are different ways of making templates. It's definitely based on your purpose. But if you are doing a research, like an undergraduate or postgraduate level, but postgraduate level, but
ये जो है ना रिकॉग्नाइज हाइलाइट वाला यहाँ पे ये कर्सर है इसमें बाय कटिंग एंड पेस्टिंग ये निकाल दो इमोशंस रहेंगे इमोशंस बाय से कर दो
I guess someone's mic on.
Yes, as a host, you can mute that mic, Dr. Namali.
Yeah, I'm checking that one, but okay, I can see. Yeah, done. Good. Sorry about that. Right. So the making a kind of template for your notes, just think about if you are undergraduate students or postgraduate students, what we are normally focusing on while we are reading our literature, our article, we focus on, okay, how are we going to develop our research problem, right? So that's one of your area. Then think about, okay, how that other authors frame their research problem. So if you're focusing about the research methodology, focus on that, right? So likewise, based on your requirement, make sure that you make these note templates. So it's really about yourself and your requirement. So I have already showed the way that you can work, but it's really about you and organizing your work with you as well, right? And you can, you know that you can duplicate that one, copy and paste into, drag and drop into any other fields. So it's not like consuming lots of time. So just making one time and then it will be reusable, okay? Right. Okay. Right. And the other important thing is I'll go and show you about, before I move into the Word document, I'll show you about after you getting this stuff, working with the notes, the other really important thing. Okay. When I click on that, so you can see. And the other important thing is at the end of this library page, you can see, notice here. You can see the related and tags are there, right? Two things. Can you see that? It's like big, so small things. Can you see that? Related and tags. So while you are reading, make sure that you make the note, you add your things or related items together with your readings as well. So what's mean by related? For example, while you are working on this document, you realize that the article that you have read previously, it's really matching, it's really linking, or maybe it's opposite, right? For the literature review, we need both, right? Something that relates to us, relates to our reading, and also some of the contradictory ideas, right? And then you can say, okay, click on that related items, and you can find that article from your library and then relate with that and as well. So that means while you are writing on your literature review. So you can search some of the related things from the library. I'll show you how to search that one. And then it will definitely organize quickly whichever the articles that explain really similar things. So it comes together. And also, whatever the articles that contradict some of the ideas, you can search some of the things together as well. That's really important. Okay, make sure that you are taking notes, saving items to the library, making notes, but also adding related items together as well. So that's what basically real problem with the students, because they read 30 to 40 articles, but when we see their literature review paper, we won't be able to see that number of papers have already incorporated into their writings, because they only incorporated 2 or 3, because they don't know that how to incorporate all these articles together with for maybe one argument or making one thing in the research, right? But making that connection in the Zotero library in that way, it's pretty easy for you to connect each articles together, right? And the other thing is about the tags. So the tags are really important in order to search, right? For example, this article is all about learning outcomes. Yeah, so I can give the tags and then add, right? So whenever I add that articles items, I can search those stuff as well, right? So it's like for the searchable process. So you know that different key terms we used while we are working on the research project. If I'm working in the e-learning research project, then I will be using e-learning, online education, preference, online preferences, teaching and learning methods, digital tools. This could be number of keywords, key terms comes up with the research. So you can also aim whatever the key terms that comes through your literature, make sure that you make the tags for this stuff. Okay, right. So before I move into the generating, to show you about how to generate report from the library, as well as making references to the Word document, I would like to show you about how to search your notes or tags or related items together. Okay. So when you go to the library.
Yeah, Dr. Namali, there's a request from a participant saying that show that tag again.
Okay, right. Thanks for telling me. Right, so I will make this window a little bit smaller, then you will be able to see, I guess. Right. Okay. Can you see these 2 items? I hope it will be more visible right now. So that's at the end of the page, at end of the, when you have the screen, the Zotero library, so it's at the bottom, right? Related and tags. Okay?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yes. And also the other important thing is, I forgot that one. While you are working in the library, you can actually open up this little window as a separate thing. For example, if you are working with the 2 screen, just think about 2 screen. So easy. So you are working on the 1 screen reading, and then you move to the next screen, you are writing as well. But even in the same screen, you can open up the notes in a different, different window. Click here, edit in a separate window. So you can see that notes, it's movable. So you can work on there separately as well, like a Word document. Okay, so it's in there. You don't need to save separately. Right. Okay, so I'll go to the library again, and then you can see that search we can do from here as well. But when you click on this advanced search option, you can find everything that you did in the research library. It's searchable, right? For example, when we just go to, you can see tags over there, right? And also we work on the notes. So when you click on the notes, so if you can search like, I'm thinking about, okay, whenever the learning outcomes, talk about that one, I need to find all these stuff, right? So I'll search on that. Now I can see whenever the article that I read, So the learning outcomes have been discussed in these 3 articles. See? So that's the way we organize the library. So in order to have this one, not only you are using this library to include the items, but also working with the notes and related items and making tags is really important. So that's really useful. Right. And then, depending on the time, yes, it's moving fast. I will show you how to get the reports, and then I will move to the Word document to show you about how to adding references, because we have to touch the research rabbit as well. I will probably take extra 5 minutes, hopefully. Let's see, 5 to 10. Right. Okay, so then think about you need to create some of the reports from the library. So why that reports are really important for us, right? So there should be a purpose of doing that. The one thing is the reports are really important to share some details with your research team in your organization or with your supervisors, right? Before you discuss something in depth. Right, so I'll show you how to do that. You can get the reports from one particular items or from the whole collection. From the whole collection, right? So when I click on one item, I can right click on it, and then I can click on create report from items. When I click on that, so it will generate different page. So you can see whatever the notes that I took from the Zotero, it's there. And also you can take some of the printouts from here as well as a PDF version. And also if you want to work on the Word document, so you can copy and paste like that. It's easy, if not changing into the Word document as well. Right, so if I click on the whole collection to get some of the to generate reports, I can click on that again, select all items and click, right click, and then click on generate report items. So you can see that whole report is included. So it's like including the bibliographic details about the each items plus other notes that I have taken, right? And it's useful for you to share with your members in the research group. And you will find many more purposes after you're familiar with the process. Okay, right. Now I'm moving to adding in-text citations into the Word document. Okay, right. So I will move to the Word document by, right, here we go. Can you see the Word document now?
Yes.
Cool. Right, so after you build up your research library in Zotero, then the actual work happening in the Word document, right? Because we all use a Word document for us to create our reports, literature review, our thesis and everything, right? So this is one of the example text I got because I'm working right now on the learning analytics project. So I thought take small bits from there and then show you how to add references to save some time. Right, so after you come back to this Word document, if you downloaded all the things correctly and then connected, as well as there will be sometimes after you download it, if you won't be able to see the Zotero in the Word document, there will be a plugin available in the Zotero page to you to connect with the Zotero library and the Word document, right? So you need to download that plugin as well, okay? After that, after you open the Word document, then you can see this Zotero icon in the Word document, right? So you can click on that. Just assume that this is some of the write-up that you are doing it. I will make it a little bit bigger, right? This is the write-up that you are doing it right now. And then I need to add some of the references. For example, I need to add, okay, so this is one of the text things I'm writing, and then I'm explaining what's mean by learning analytics, and I want to add some text on it, right? Some citation for that. Who already informed you about this, what's mean by learning analytics, the definition. Okay, So click on this add and edit citation. I'll go to the Word document again. And so this is the second time that I'm click on it. That's why it's not coming with the selection of the reference style. So when you click on this document preferences, you can, okay, I closed that one again. Right, so first I will add this, okay, something, right. I will take the another Word document, which is easier with the new one. Okay. Right. So I said learning analytics. Analytics, blah, blah, blah. I want to add some references. Just assume that my definition is there. And I want to go for the Zotero library. And then if you click on this add and citations, it's weird. So you can select the preferences, right? So preferences means how I can show you. Okay, just give me figure out. Okay. Yep.
Madam, I think because the reason is that Zotero is already running in the background.
Yeah, that's what the problem. So I will off that one first. Just give me a few seconds. Yeah, I will get the library again, okay? Just let me stop this screen for 5 seconds. Sorry about that. Yep. Okay, here we go. Right, let me try again. Okay, I will share the screen now. Yep. Here we go. Yep, can you see the screen? Okay. Right, so first time when you use the Word document, and then if you want to add the references, when you click on that add citations, so it will show you which kind of reference style that you want to come up with, right? That you want to use it. So there are different Zotero, different reference style, reference management style that you can incorporate with your writings. So it could be APA, if someone's need to use maybe IEEE, right? So the version that I'm selecting here is APA 7th edition. So I can click on that and then say, okay. Right, so that means my references are strict with the APA style, right? So the references that I'm going to add for my article, so I know that it's something about the learning analytics. So I guess this person is there, and then select the person from the library and then click enter button, right? And then you can see that from the Word document, so my references are there. And also, the other important thing is while you are working on your Word document, just assume that you need to, you need to add not only one authors, but also different authors saying this, arguing the same thing, right? Okay, so then we go to the library again, and then you can click on here, not the keep source sorted, but you can also go to the classic view. So from there, it will give you opportunity for you to add multiple sources. You can click on multiple sources. Right, and then you can select different items. Probably I need to go into my SLIIT library. So probably I need these 3 things to add into the references, right? Then I select all of them and then filter into the source in line, and then I click on OK. Right, so you can see that couple of examples added into the same references, right? So likewise, you will be able to get all the items that you have added into the library. So while you are writing, if you want to refer back to the document, so you can grab all these references in a very short time. Right, so after that, your duty is maybe after writing a number of pages, 20, 30 pages, there will be many more references add in, like 30 to 50 references, hopefully. And then you can add reference list. Okay, references. Just say references, and you want to add references into your document, right? So I'm click on this add and edit bibliography. Right, so you can see that the references up there, all these available in my references list. Okay, references list here. Right, so it's organized according to the APA 7 style. So it saves your time, and also it's easier to organize your things at the library and also connecting with the document that you are writing. And also, other important thing is when you go to the Word document for the writing stage, can you remember some of the notes that we took from the Zotero library? So you can add notes here as well. Okay, so you can take some of the notes that we took, hopefully from here. Okay, let me share the Word document again. Sorry about that. Right, I want to add some notes from here. Hopefully notes from the learning analytics or the, yep, so this one. So you can see that some of the notes that I have took from the Zotero library, it's also added into your Word documents as well. So it depends on how you're going to work with the library. The way that you are working will be useful for you to reuse it with your writings as well, right? Okay, so that's done. I think I only have a couple of minutes to go, but I'll be really quick about focusing on Research Rabbit. And I'll show you how it's important to work with the Zotero library as well. Right, so I will move to this one. Okay, where is the Zotero library? Right. Okay, I'm going to the Research Rabbit now. That's the AI tool. Pushpamala Miss, is it allow me to take another?
Yes, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is the website again, and when you write or when you type Research Rabbit on Google, so it comes up, right? So that's the main environment. And this is the AI tool that's really related with the research projects. Okay, so you should have a login to use that one. Hopefully you can use your Gmail account with that as well. Right, so after I log in, so this is the environment that I'm working in the Research Library. Sorry, in the Research Rabbit, okay? Right. So the other important thing is why we require to have a Research Rabbit along with the Zotero library, or why we are not working along, not only working with the Zotero, why we should have a Research Rabbit as well. Right, so in the Zotero library, so you have added so many items, right, according to different research projects or your teaching. And Research Rabbit will explore more related to your particular specific area, rather than go and do the search through the databases again. So the Research Rabbit will show you the link between the published resources related to your specific information search, right? Okay, so the first thing is after you join with the Research Rabbit, you can create a new category. Just say, it's similar with the Zotero library as well. Give the meaningful category for your work. So I say I'm going to work with the learning analytics, right? Right. So I'm going to work with the learning analytics. So I label that one, the category, as a learning analytics. Okay, so the my new category is there, learning analytics. So under the new category, so you can create different collections. It's similar with the Zotero as well, right? But it should be meaningful. Right, so under the collection, I want to have a different collection because it's a research project. So I'm working on, so I need to have a LA, that means learning analytics dashboards. Right, and I also need to have a kind of learning analytics theories to work with, and also students facing analytics. Right, so that's what I really important for me to have a different collection in my learning analytics collection, right? Okay, so we created new category and then add some of the collections as well and how it works. So after I creating this learning analytics one, so I can go to these, I'll say learning analytics theories. When I click on that, there are two options. So we can bring our Zotero library to Research Rabbit, as well as we can also develop some of the searching through Research Rabbit as well. I'm going to show you both very quickly. So the first one, I'm going to search some of the papers through Research Rabbit and to see the connection to the other published papers. Okay, at papers, I'm going to search some of the learning analytics theories and search. Right, it's coming up kind of educational theories and learning analytics, blah, blah, blah. So you can explore some of the particular information, particular paper. So whatever the paper that you are focusing on from here is going to be a key paper. So the key paper means you are really interested about that paper, right? That's tell everything about your project or whatever the items, whatever the information that focus on. So you need to carefully go through this and then see what will be your key paper. But for this time, I'm going to pick up this, let's say, learning analytics, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully this one. So I'm going to add this into the collection. Right? And I hopefully added this one, learning analytics, and this one, done. Okay, right. So when I go there, you can see that earlier under my learning theories collection, it's none. But now that's 4 items added from the Research Rabbit. When I click on one item, right? So you can see when I click on one item, so you can see that how many similar works that they are referencing. And also all references together 44 and citations 17. And most important thing is to look at about the similar work. So when I click on that, it will produce the network, how it looks like, right? So it's really useful for me to grab or focus on other papers from there. So that's the network that developing through these Research Rabbit. Okay, so when I click on there, okay, so you can see that form. So this is one of the key paper, and also there are a couple of key papers focusing on and cited by others as well. So if so this one is not in my library, I can add into that collection as well. So if this is not in my collection, and I can add into the LA collection as well. So like that, I can develop my reference library from here. Okay, and also it will, like within very short time, it will allow us to navigate through these published research network. Okay, otherwise it's not really easy for us to use the databases to see the network, but this tool will show you how it connects and how many references, how many cited things together as well. Okay, and the other important thing is taking your research, so you can add many more items here as well, and you can explore many more things from the research library as well. Okay, right. And other important thing is how you are going to connect your research rabbit plus Zotero together as well. So we developed Zotero Library earlier, and we can improve that collection by using Research Rabbit. Okay, so you can click on this import Zotero collection. And since this is an AI tool, so it's referring my own Zotero collection. Right, so you can see that SLIIT research project, that's the one we created very recently. And I have my Learning Analytic Hub here. So what I'm going to check, I'm going to okay, I'm going to start syncing my Learning Analytic Hub library from Zotero with the Research Rabbit. So I'm click on start syncing. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and then I'm also saying that LA Hub from there as well. Give a name. Okay. Right. These matches. Okay, done. Choose a paper to sync. That's all right. Okay, so you can see that my Learning Analytic Hub, so that's coming up from my Zotero collection, right? So the Learning Analytic Hub is here, and if needed, I can move actually into my Learning Analytics collection, right? Learning Analytic category. So Learning Analytic category represent that Learning Analytics Hub now. It comes from my Zotero library. So I'll minimize a little bit. And also, after we connect with Zotero Library, again, we will be able to see the connection between those papers and other published papers throughout the, which represent the same similar research environment, research specific background, okay? And the other important thing is you can see that the research, the resync with Zotero. So whatever the papers that we are adding from the Research Rabbit to the Learning Analytic Hub, my collection, it's always syncing with the Zotero library. I do not want to bring the items from Research Rabbit to the Zotero. It's already synced now, right? It's working together. Whatever the work that I'm working in the Zotero library, it's also working together here as well, right? So it's like upgrading our two tools together, and it will give you the nice environment for you to work with lots of literature, but make sure that you are arranging your items, organizing your library perfectly. Okay, right. Yeah, and also the last important things, you can make this each collection as a public collection, or you can make a shareable link with your supervisors or your research team as well. That's also important because we can work together as a team with the same research library like a Zotero, okay? And you can add collaborators by adding different email address as a research group members. You have freedom to do so as well. Okay, so that's why the working with the Zotero library plus Research Rabbit is important because it's exploring more and more literature relevant to our particular information needs. And it takes like few minutes, few seconds to develop such network very quickly, right? Okay, so I think that's what I had to cover. I took extra few minutes, sorry about that.